Magic the Gathering debuted on August 5th, 1993 with what is known as the Alpha set. The cards in this set have become extremely sought after over the years, with many of them worth thousands of dollars in today's market. Even some of the common cards in the Alpha set are now worth several thousands of dollars. And on that note, we thought that we would take a look at the top 10 rarest cards that exist in today's market from the Magic the Gathering trading card game. But of course, just before we do go into this video, if you do like this type of content and you would like to see some more top 10s, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course, like this video. And with all that said, let's just get straight into it. These are the top 10 rarest Magic the Gathering cards that exist in today's market. Number 10, Underground Sea. The Alpha set has a lot of useful cards, but the dual lands were perhaps the most useful. These dual lands can be used as a source of 2 different colors of mana, but only once per turn. Nowadays, dual lands are some of the most sought after Magic the Gathering cards, and are easily recognizable by the spiral pattern inside the text box. Considered a swamp and island, the Underground Sea provides black and blue mana. This is the highest value land card in Magic the Gathering, which typically sells for around $6,500, but one is sold as high as $14,000. Number 9, MOX Emerald. The MOX Emerald is an artifact that can be tapped for 1 green mana per turn. Like the other MOX gems, the MOX Emerald can be played from the hand without expanding mana and can be played as an interrupt. The MOX Emerald, along with the rest of the MOX gems, is great for getting an early advantage in the game. Anytime a player can play multiple mana sources during a turn, especially towards the beginning of the game, increases significantly the odds of victory. The MOX Emerald is worth approximately $7,500, but on the high end can sell for about $20,000. Number 8, MOX Sapphire. The MOX Sapphire is an artifact that provides 1 blue mana per turn when tapped. Of course, this artifact does not require mana to be played from the hand, and can be used as an interrupt. It's one of the more useful MOX gem artifacts, mainly because most counterspell cards use blue mana. When playing a counterspell, the MOX Sapphire's ability to be used as an interrupt can save a player from a damaging spell. This card has saved so many players from a sudden defeat. In terms of price range though, this card sells usually for an average of $9,500, and its highest price can usually reach for around $50,000. Number 7, MOX Jet. The MOX Gem artifacts are rare and powerful, but keep in mind that many tournaments do not allow them. The rarity of these cards, coupled with the advantage they provide, has led them to be banned. This is an attempt to even out the playing field for players who weren't around in 1993 to buy the early editions of the cards. The MOX Jet provides 1 black mana, can be played as an interrupt, and doesn't require mana to be put into play. Although if you do want one of these cards, be prepared to pay around $8,600, although keeping in mind that some of these cards can reach prices as high as $10,000. Number 6, Time Walk. This blue sorcery spell has a simple but effective special power. Time Walk allows the player to take an extra turn after the turn in which it was played. This card alone was worth using in a blue deck, and many games of Magic have been won because of this card. Using Time Walk allows a player to essentially bypass Summoning Sickness for 1 turn, as well as playing an extra mana source. If players can use this card in the early game, they can overwhelm an opponent who hasn't had the chance to summon many champions. It's also useful for untapping champions before an opponent's turn. Time Walk is worth around $9,000, however it has been sold as high as $25,000. Number 5, Time Vault. Time Vault is similar to Time Walk in that it gives the owner an extra turn, although Time Vault is a little less useful while playing a Time Walk due to it staying in play tapped until the player skips a turn. Thankfully though, there are cards that allows players to reshuffle their graveyards into their deck, which makes Time Walk more reusable and therefore more valuable. Prices for this card can be found at around $3,500. However, if you're trying to get one of these in near mint or mint condition, then this will set you back to around $7,000. Number 4, MOX Ruby. The last of the MOX Gem artifacts on this list, MOX Ruby provides 1 red mana per turn. Like the other MOX Gems, this costs no mana to play and can be used as an interrupt. This is the most valuable of the MOX Gems for a reason, as red spells are generally the most damaging to opposing players. A spell like Fireball deals an amount of damage equal to the amount of red mana the player uses to cast it. It's not hard to see how this artifact, when used with multiple Fireball spells, can provide a quick victory. This card's valuation is approximately around $9,000, but on average tends to sell as much as around $12,000. Number 3. Ancestral Recoil. Ancestral Recoil is a card that any player would want in their deck, as it's a card that's worth adding islands to one's library, even if only to play this card. When using this card, it allows the player to draw 3 cards, or forces your opponent to discard 3 cards to the graveyard. This card has 2 other positive aspects, in that it is an instant, and that it only costs 1 blue mana to play. 1 mana does seem very low for such a powerful card, but that is why it's so highly sought after. Ancestral Recoil is worth around $21,000 on the low end, and around about $27,000 on the high end. Number 2. Blue Hurricane. In 1994, a set was printed called Revised Edition, and in this set, Wizards of the Coast discovered that the cards in the set had problems, such as off-coloring, incorrect artist credits for the pictures, and misprinted pictures. Later, a revised edition called Summer Magic, due for release in the summer of 1994, was then printed and sent out to distributors. Unfortunately, Wizards of the Coast soon discovered that this revised edition also had a lot of errors. One of these areas was the Hurricane spell card, having a blue border instead of a green one. This Summer Magic set was immediately recalled, but not before some of them made their way into the hands of players and collectors. Thanks to its rarity and novelty, this misprinted Blue Hurricane has sold for as much as $30,000. Number 1. Black Lotus. It won't be much of a surprise for players of Magic the Gathering that this card features in the number 1 spot. It has become the most famous/infamous card for both its power and its value. Not only is the Black Lotus the most valuable Magic the Gathering card, but its value seems to go up more and more every year. The Black Lotus gives players 3 mana of a single color when tapped, costs nothing to put into play, and can be used as an interrupt. The Black Lotus's value is currently at around $75,000, although for those who desperately want to get their hands on this card, you might have more luck trying to get your hands on one of the beta versions of this card. The beta cards are worth around $40,000, with graded copies of this card easily selling for over $150,000. And so there you pretty much have it. That was our top 10 rarest Magic the Gathering cards that you can get your hands on as of today in 2024. So what did you think of this list? Do you feel that there was a rare card that was perhaps missing? Or do you think the arrangement of these cards were somewhat wrong? If so, do let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. And of course, not forgetting that if you do like this type of content and you'd like to see some more top 10s, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course, like this video. I'll also leave some more videos at the end of this one if you would like to check them out. Thanks very much for watching guys, and I will see you all next time.